Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, why are we using high school prom themes for fucking Bake Off? Subscribe if you're new to the channel, because today we're reviewing the Great British Baking Show, Collection 12, Episode 8, the 70s. Now, if I'm thinking of Britain in the 70s, I'm thinking androgynous sexual David fucking Bowie. I'm not thinking of what the fuck we saw.
Nope.
Weird.
Yeah, it was a choice. This season has been very riddled with choices. Some good, some not so good. And this was definitely a not so good one.
Yeah, the opening was fucking weird with Allison bouncing on a goddamn ball. I don't fucking... She fell down twice in this episode. Twice.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I don't know what's happening. But Allison falling down is not an attractive thing to watch. And I feel like Noel should know the 70s more. Like...
Yeah.
70s in the U.S. was very different than Britain's 70s. Britain's 70s was a sexual fucking revolution. Like, you were transitioning sexual boundaries, boys being girls and girls sort of being a little bit more masculine, but still kind of remaining the same way. I know this because I was never there. So it must be
so
true.
Clearly you're the authority on it. Yeah.
But like, that's, all of the fucking bands that we got out of the 70s, if it was the US, it was like biker, sort of metal, sort of rock and roll. In the UK, it was very much sort of poppy, like almost literally. I mean, you could have just recorded that right from the 70s.
I thought you played a soundtrack. I didn't. I was very confused there.
I've been practicing. So, like, none of this felt 70s to me. This felt like old people 70s, which means it was really the 60s reflecting back when you were in the 70s. Not the same thing at all. Youth culture in the 70s was different than old people culture in the 70s, and the judges were old people in the 70s reflecting back on the 60s. The flavor of this was very much that. That was not the 70s.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the tail end of the 60s.
Just made me upset.
Like, especially with some of the choices. Like, I mean, we'll get into it, of course, towards the end of the show, obviously. But like with the Black Forest Gateau, like, that's different era. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing just felt very, very strange to me. And we were just talking like very briefly before we got on because we literally just hopped on. Nothing stood out in my mind.
Nope.
Like at all.
Like, I remember the themes.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like,
I watched this episode twice and I don't remember.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. I mean,
and there's not even many people left. Like,
no, that's the crazy thing. There's 5 fucking bakes or 5 bakers. And yeah, I pretty much forgot everything.
I had a hard time.
I remember there being a lot of color choices that were... Whew.
This is what bugs me the most, because until like the 90s, I feel like from the 90s on, there was no like solid decade of style anymore, because everything preceding that was very much isolated to like these decades of style. But really what you've got was this bleed over era of like 60s bleeding over to the 70s, which took all the colorful flower, sort of psychedelic vibes, and that bled over into the 70s disco vibe, where you had like these swirling mass shapes of weird fucking colors. But that did not define the entirety of the decade. And so you're really just isolating, well, what part of the 70s are you trying to evoke in this particular bake? And so we started off with the profiterole stack, to your point of like seeing a bunch of weird, like sort of color stuff. It was all sort of strange. And we've talked about this like in the past sort of ad nauseum, like over and over again. The titles they give to their bakes do not equate what the fuck the bake was.
No.
So it doesn't help people like us who clearly don't remember what we just watched and then reading the titles like sci-fi profiterole stack. I don't know what that
was. It's like with Georgie's. Well, I guess really it's just Dylan and Christian's that I'm forgetting. because Jill's, I mean, it looked like a terribly made Christmas tree. Ilian, it was some really ugly colors thrown together that were supposed to be reminiscent of African colors, I guess. And then, Georgie, she had the little chocolate cutout of Freddie Mercury at the top. I'm really going through my Rolodex of trying to remember what the fuck the other two were.
Yeah, I mean, 1970s Freddie Mercury, that was like the early fucking days.
Mm-hmm.
Like before he was even like popular.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like a silhouette, wasn't it? It was just like this tiny little...
Yeah, it was a silhouette of a version of Freddie Mercury that's made famous from the 90s.
So it fits the 70s perfectly.
But whatever. That's, that's neither here nor there, I suppose.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I mean, I feel like on the nose is Jill's, the Christmas tree profiterole. I mean, it's the shape. He's just putting a bunch of little fucking stacked balls. It's like when we get together for man camp.
Yeah, exactly. We paint them up and then we figure out who's going to be the angel on the top.
One day I'll make the angel. One day.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. All of this is weird. And just the profiterole stack alone is just a weird. And yeah, okay. So the dessert is 70s. The execution of it is like attempting to. It's like modern parlance. Whenever you're doing any sort of like modern design, you're like, "Ooh, I want to do something 70s," and so you just sort of go with like weird pastel-y swirls.
Mm-hmm.
That does not the 70s equate. Like that's not the same. Especially like, and I'm gonna keep going back to this because it's literally my only UK 70s reference. Nope, that's not true. Train Spotting. So it's like Train Spotting. Like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a cultural statement because that's really what the 70s were about. It was about like this was like the birth of the punk era. Early 70s. You were go ahead.
Nothing. That's a whole other different topic that I don't
Oh, I was just going to make the statement about it being a rage against the political state.
Yeah.
And that's where we got the real massive sort of cultural, musical, fashion, sexual movement away from the hippie 50s into something genuinely, wildly, more aggressively different. This wasn't about peace and love. This was about fucking shoving your fist in the face of the man.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. Like, this era, this is the era of the mods. This is the era of heavy metal, like the UK invasion, like the shit that was brought over here that blew everybody's mind and turned into like thrash and what we know as metal nowadays. Like there was none of that was seen in this.
Yeah. And I get it, it's a baking show. Like we're talking about like the cultural movements of the time. On or around the time, clearly. But like ultimately, that's what I was hoping for when I heard 70s, and instead, we got Allison bouncing on a fucking ball. Like fuck off.
Yeah, and then falling off of one of the counters.
What was she? Was she trying to do like a Dukes of Hazzard spin off the hood of the car thing? Like what the fuck was that?
I don't think she even knows what the fuck she was doing, to be honest, because she's like, oh, I'm gonna try that again, and then it's like, nope, not doing that. It's like, what were you trying to accomplish?
And then this almost immediately after, like a 3 count, Noel was anally raping her. I was just like, whoa, that's a choice. Fuck, dude. What are you doing? I mean, you don't jump on the ass of a girl that's face down on the ground that's your co-host on a national or a global TV show. You just don't do that.
Well, that's from an American standpoint.
Oh, okay.
Like it's different over there. That's
buggering is very 70s.
Sodomy it's acceptable.
Okay, it's more like a handshake.
Yeah.
Good to see you. All right.
So you've been eating spicy food again.
Could I get a nappy for my weenie? Wipe this off before it fucking stains. Yeah, no, I mean, not a good thing at all. Okay, so anyway, they
Yeah,
Fucking
they were okay. And I'm vaguely remembering Dylan's. I think he had like the U shape with some color, but
Dylan got a
so
motherfucking handshake.
yeah,
Like a
I mean,
handshake.
I don't really remember
This
his or
motherfucker
the
got a
handshake. I remember the
goddamn
handshake, but that's about it.
handshake for his fucking bake. I don't know. This guy's a fucking idiot savant. He's
Mm-hmm.
Rain Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand anything that's happening. He's like just amazing.
I don't think he understands it either.
God,
So
good for
that's
him,
proving the
dude.
point.
Yeah, he always just looks like shocked. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
ooh, cheers. I hate that word, by the way, because I don't know what it means. Does it mean thanks? Does it mean congratulations? It's just like one of those ubiquitous words that means literally anything in the moment. Fuck that. That's why we have a vocabulary. You can say thank you. You can say congratulations. Don't just say cheers. It's too fucking vague. Fuck off with your cheers, you fuckheads. I hate it so much. My boss said cheers to me once. I was like, yeah, I'm going to bring in a new client. Cheers. What? Why are you talking about a TV show from the fucking 80s? Like, I don't,
Right? It's like, are you British all of a
I
sudden?
don't understand why you're telling me cheers. I'm an American. Tell me that sounds great. Congratulations. Just anything but cheers, you fucking pretentious cunt. God damn it.
Right. That's almost as bad as people saying chow.
Oh.
Like, I'm sorry, unless you
Ugh.
speak those languages that use that regularly,
Yeah.
you should just get a throat punch.
Yeah. Even then, just
Even then, they're
why not?
foreigners. They should probably still get throat punched. I get it. I get
Foreigners.
it.
All right, so the technical I do remember because it did seem like a dentist office visit in the waiting. Like the Benioff pie was just like sugar. It was just like 100% sugar.
Yeah.
Like this layer of sugar covered with some other bullshit. And even Prue was like, I don't even like these. Why did you have them make this? This is way too sweet. And Paul was just like, fuck them.
Because I fucking like it is why.
He's
Yeah,
like, this
no,
is
that
how my
was
eyes are blue.
like I
Sweet.
was just like my mouth was hurting watching this shit. I was like, I could not eat that. Like I have great teeth. I don't mean to brag or anything, but like I don't have issues
Humble
with
brag.
my teeth.
I've got great teeth.
But just the idea of that much sugar going in my mouth fucking hurts.
Yeah. It's too much. But everyone did, I mean, decent. I didn't, nothing that really stood out. It was like, oh, you fucking shit the bed.
Yeah, I was like, because Jill was the worst. She came in fifth. I think hers was just the crust wasn't baked long enough.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that was like the worst of it. I mean, of course, there was varying degrees of success. Like some were too thin, the crust wasn't right, but for the most part, it was a pretty straightforward pie, and they all seemed to do pretty damn decent.
Yeah, and Georgie, like, she's great.
Mm-hmm.
She's either on it, like just like fucking nailing shit and like surprising people from it, or she's just sort of under the radar. She's definitely a finalist. 100% at this point. Like I just can't see her having a bad week, bad enough. Like next week would be the only one to send her ass home.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has to go in to the final three, I think, and
Yeah,
bring that
definitely.
final bake. But
Well,
yeah,
it's like, I mean, looking back at like the season, I mean, really, it's just her and Dylan that,
yeah.
By stats alone deserve to be there because they're the only ones that have done, star twice.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Christiane's going to be there just because he's been like just under the radar.
Yeah.
He's never really shit the bed badly. He's always kind of been there. Yeah. I don't think Jill's got it.
No. As much as I would like to see Jill go through, she's been at the bottom for the most of this. Like, because, she hasn't done Star Baker, right?
I don't think she's ever gotten a Star Baker. I don't think she's ever had a.
Oh, nope.
No,
Actually,
she
that's
has.
wrong. She has a
Yeah.
Star Bake. Yeah, it was episode 5.
You know what I'm thinking?
Fuck if Christian's the one that goes through, he hasn't had a Star Baker.
Yeah, they were talking about
all.
it this episode too.
Yeah,
But
that's crazy.
he's still just been like upper, sort of under the radar, always upper. So that's why I think like Jill has had really bad days. She thought she was going home last week. She was a little iffy this week. I really do think that like I want to hang out with her and her husband and just have like a couple pints at a pub and just bullshit and talk and laugh like our
Oh
asses
yeah.
off because it'd probably be a good time. She'd probably bring some delicious bakes and we just have some fucking fun. Wake up the next morning in the same bed, not knowing whose hole was what. Somehow there's frosting on your dick. I'm there. I don't judge.
Well,
That
when in
actually sounds
Rome.
like a kind of a really good fucking time too, to be quite honest. But I wouldn't want the same thing to happen with Christian. I'd rather send him to the final. Just saying.
Because it is one or the other. Either you're going to have
Of course.
a sinful evening, or they're going to go off to the finals.
Yeah, these are our rules. So
Yeah.
fuck them. This is our reality.
We're the authority on discussing this show, so no one can fucking
Clearly.
argue that with us.
We have the vastest audience, so
We do.
it's our voice that matters. Yeah. Anyway, the Benioff pie, it was weird. I would probably have a slice and never have it again. I've never had it before. It just seems like way too sweet. And then we go to the gâteau, and there was a lot of different versions of this for this final bake. And I mean, just sort of the turd in the pool was Ilian with her clear inability to fucking chill her shit. Or maybe it was just the original construction. She said she had tried it and it worked once the buttercream froze or set, she said, that it wouldn't crumble over. But shit, man, that shit was the Leaning Tower of Pisa and then just fucking crumbled.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then there's like a handprint on it. She tried to catch. That's the big question. You see it falling, you know you're not going to save it effectively because there's either going to be a handprint or it's going to fall off. And even if there is a handprint, it's still going to fucking fall off. So do you just leave it as is? Like, what would you do in that situation? You have to present it somehow.
I would do the same thing she did. I'd be catching that son of a bitch and then trying to show the backside that didn't get smashed. Be like, oh no, if you guys just pay attention to this part, it's good.
She even had dowels in it.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand. It's like, how bad was everything else that the structural support wasn't enough to do its one job?
I mean, she should have been gone a couple of weeks ago, in my opinion.
I agree.
But fuck, man, this is just proof that she overstayed her welcome.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious that she was going home this time.
Yeah. I want to talk about Dylan's mint chocolate because I enjoy a mint chocolate chip ice cream scoop, but I don't want a fucking cake of mint chocolate. That's a weird choice to me.
I mean, I can get behind it, man. But I'm also
Really?
I'm a big chocolate fan. So
It was like 100% mint chocolate, like the whole goddamn thing. And I don't understand how that's 70s. Did they discover mint in the 70s? Like, I don't understand why that's 70s.
I think they discovered the combination in the 70s.
Like, here's a leaf. Here's a bean. What if we wrapped them?
Yep. Yeah, his was the one I didn't quite understand how that was relevant to the time period. I mean, again, like Georgie's made sense. I mean, it's still like outside of the general time frame because I feel like that's more like late 60s versus 70s.
Yeah.
That's just me. What the fuck do I know? I was born at the tail end of the 80s. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, his was just like,
God damn, I forget we're like a decade apart.
no, we're only like 9 years apart.
Okay. All right.
It's not quite
not a
double
decade.
digits.
I do like Chris's comment here. Dylan likes Star Wars 2 on top of being helpful to his fellow bakers and an awesome baker. I'm this close to leaving my wife for him. When Dylan does his like laugh smile, like the super fucking deep, like the trenches of the Death Star without the railings, dimples, I could see it. I could be like, oh, that's adorable. I'm gonna put my
that's
wiener in it.
That's why him and Paul are such close friends.
Yeah, dimple fight. Dimple fights. Just show my butt. And they're like, ooh, that's dimple too. Ooh. I think here's my problem. Helping the other bakers. On a human level, yeah, like that's awesome. Like you're done. You're sitting on your ass. They're in dire need. But this is a fucking competition. This is about time management. I have a hard time being okay with it in this format.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to help them, and you should be lauded, like celebrated for helping them, but you should be docked, or they should be docked, because they didn't do it. They couldn't do it. That's the fucking competition.
See, I always struggle with that because I don't know what I would do in this scenario. Like you, I think, that should be, oh, you needed somebody to help you with this shit. You should lose points for that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know if I could just sit by and watch somebody struggle. Like, for instance, when I was in school, now granted it wasn't a competition or anything, but still, like when I was in school, I didn't have to help people. I still did. Like if I saw somebody clearly struggling with something, I'd walk up, I'd give them a hand, whatever, whether it was working like with the heavy machinery or whatnot. Like I would step in even though I was supposed to be doing something else. Yeah. So I get it, but I don't know. I always struggle with that. It's like if I was actually there, what would I do?
Oh, I would definitely help, of course. Like, of course we would help. We definitely would help. But I still think there should be some sort of penalty for it, because that means this isn't real life. This is a goddamn competition. Like, you don't get points for being helpful. You don't get points for fucking up your time management and having someone else come and help you. That just means that you get further in the competition when you shouldn't. And so I really do think there should be like well, you know what? This is a delicious bake, but it wouldn't have been done without Dylan, so I'm going to give him extra points, and I'm going to dock you some points, period. Like, that's because that's the fucking reality of this. This isn't, like, to your point, the school thing, this isn't just people going through a class. This is a competition. This isn't you working toward a degree, and you just happen to, have an off day or something. This is a fucking competition. You're doing this for money. You're doing this for a designed cake platter and bragging rights. Like, that's it. This is a competition. Like, fuck. I have a problem with this. My internet seems like it's going in and out. Is this happening to you?
You're coming through loud and clear. So
he's like, I'm hearing you, bitch.
Unfortunately, I'm hearing everything coming out of your mouth.
My and everyone else's dismay. He likes the mindset, though. Dylan's thinking, I can beat you at your best anyway. Don't want to beat you this way. This isn't you. Okay, I understand what he's saying, but he's a stupid fucking kid, and he doesn't know shit about life.
Yeah, that's the naivete of youth.
It's not beating you this way. This is reality. This is fucking life. They did not plan appropriately. Hence, they are here. It's well, I really need your help. Well, tough shit. Like, fuck off. Now, of course, we're like decent human beings, and so of course we would help them. But still.
Or sabotage them. One of the two.
I just kick him in the cunt. Fuck off. Then Allison would fall down for some reason.
Right.
Do you fucking Tourette's? Like, you what is that? What is that when you fall down? Do you have a seizure? Like, you fucking...
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one form of falling.
Okay. She has MS. We just discover it and we're mocking her.
You got a disease.
I'm mocking her. Fuck her. No, I like her a lot. Anyway, I would actually wonder, could I handle that ass? I'm not particularly impressive in really anything, but in that area, I'm not sure I could handle all that.
Here's the thing. If you finish, does it matter?
Point well taken. I just tapped Dylan in. I need some help. Gotcha, bro.
Exactly. Hey, I need you to finish this for me.
All right, problem solved.
Yep, there you go.
The lemon, hazelnut, and avocado. No, fuck you. Don't put avocado in a gut. When he was doing that, I was like, could that be amazingly delicious? Avocados are like super creamy and like super thick and unctuous. They can be amazing or fucking weird. Mm-hmm. It's just context.
Yeah, because it's a very delicate flavor.
Yeah.
Like it's all textural. So, yeah, I was very confused by the combination. It's like those are three things I wouldn't necessarily see together
ever. And so were the judges. They were just like, this is fucking gross. I just love Paul in like the sort of the review room with the hosts and Prue. He's just like, I couldn't eat that. That was fucking nasty.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Well, it's the best part. It's not his reaction. It's always Prue because she always wants to be nice.
Yeah.
And you can see the cogs like slowly creaking in her head. Like, how do I not look like an asshole? That sure was a gâteau. What's that over there? Like, yeah.
I love it's like a dial that's going from super delicious, what the fuck, horrified. And like the dial is switching to horrified and her face is going, I must find something pleasant to say because I'm a lady.
Yeah.
That was
I know that'd be
not to my tasting. Which equates to what the fuck? So
yeah.
good. She's the goddamn best. Oh, I love her so much.
Definitely.
Now look, I like a Black Forest cake. I'm a fan. I think that looked great.
Dude,
the flavor profile, I don't care if it's supposed to be old.
Decimate it. I would make myself sick to the point where I'd have to be hospitalized and I would not give a fuck.
Georgie's look dope as fuck. Like, I don't know. It's like the second half of this season, she's always been good. But the second half of the season, she's like, I've got a dick and I'm putting it on the table.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I was going to say. She finally pulled that fucker out, and it went thud.
It started making its scene in the Italian sort of oh fuck me, what the tiramisu. Thank you. That episode was that last episode, or the one before. In any case, it was like rearing its massive clit head, formulating into a massive cock. Then, when she was like, "No, I'm Italian. Obviously, you know that," and everyone was like,
"Yeah,
yeah,
clearly because of that heavy Welsh accent."
You clearly sound Italian. And then she like fucking killed it, and fucking since then it's just been fire the whole time. Even when she doesn't quite make it, it's still good, man. Yeah. And her clit just grew into a massive cock, and I'm just like, either this is the best anime ever, or I'm having like a 70s sexual awakening.
Or maybe both.
Like, that's how I ended up.
It's gonna be some tentacles like pop out with the disco ball behind them.
One of them's holding it, the disco ball. Just oh hell yeah! Okay, I'm there. This is gonna be fun. I think, Chris, you need to explore some men because you are really hung up on Dylan.
Yeah,
you need to get in there, dude.
I mean,
see what it's like.
Here's the thing: if you don't occasionally suck a dick, how do you know you don't like it still?
Not once. Occasionally.
No, you gotta do it every now and then.
You gotta go back to the well.
It's like, yep, still don't like that. Still don't like that.
Still gross. Still gross. Or maybe it's just the dick you're trying. So you gotta try more to see.
Could be.
Maybe you have to like roll that foreskin back. Scrape the cheese aside.
Oh God. That's rough.
Oh God damn. Oh. All right. I don't remember Jill's cake, the Joff cake. She had that thick chocolate circle around it, right? Was that hers? It was like she like laid out this thing and like pulled it around it. It was like last week's, but she did it in this week's.
Yeah,
with like a weird fucking pattern.
I honestly,
Christian's.
I don't remember hers at all.
The thing is Ilian's sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the judges, tasted fucking amazing. And used canned peaches, and this time they didn't give her shit for it. Last week they did for some insane reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, I loved how it started off that Paul was like, really showing off the canned peaches again. And it's like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. Talk shit on canned peaches again. And then, it changed. I was like, oh, okay. That's like, the thing is, it's like if you use them properly, you can do a very complex shit with it. Like you can easily turn that into tasting like a fucking a fruit wine almost, just because of the preparation.
It sounds delicious to me.
Yeah.
I don't see a negative in the goddamn house at all. I want to see a can of peaches fly in screen, in camera, and hit him in the head.
Right.
Every time you talk shit about and every time Prue says something about peanut butter, just like a can of Jif.
Yeah.
Fucking flies in and knocks her in the fucking noggin.
Absolutely.
Like, you guys need to get your goddamn flavors on point because you're judging this shit. This isn't about your personal preference. This is about quality, and they fucking got it with canned shit. Like, that's just... And here's, like, the reality of it. These are seasonal fucking fruits that if you want to try them in the goddamn winter, then you have to use canned shit. You don't get fresh peaches in fucking November, for fuck's sake. When do peaches come out? Like, mine came ripe in, I think it was September.
I'd say it's usually like September,
like
October.
Maybe it was October. But still, we're a month out. They would have been rotten if you didn't fucking can them by now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, shut up with the goddamn can shaming, Paul. Fucker with your beautiful ice blue eyes and your handshake of gods. Anyway, she shit the bed with the fucking construction. That was her fault. She chose the fucking sponge. This is 100% she shit the bed. She shouldn't be here anyway. Fuck off. It is devastating, though, when you do see these bakes go wrong. Because
it's always so hard when you start to see it like this. It's like, oh, fuck me.
It's like a meter like, oh, we're going to the shit in the bed territory. Get the meter back up. Get it back up. And they have a chance to test it. This isn't like out of the blue. They have like a week to work on this.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's always the thing that gets me. And I understand the variables of weather and stuff. It can be a massive thing. Especially
in an open tent.
Yeah. But it's like, still, like, why wouldn't you work out that kind of shit? Like, especially being in that, climate. Go do it on your patio. See how it holds up. See if you got to add some more stabilizing stuff in there or whatnot. Like, it just seems like you've got a week to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Figure this shit out.
I just put like a big old fat plumber's pipe. So
Right.
it couldn't fall over no matter what. You couldn't even cut all the way into it. It would just have to be like a little outside sliver.
Yeah.
It was for stability, Paul. What do you want?
Just throw it on a plunger.
This isn't used, right? Because I got to eat this. She's all, oh, shit.
just don't lick the other end.
Oh, God.
Which end? I don't know.
The other?
Find out.
Oh, man. I had this. Never mind. I'm not going to even talk about it.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you off screen. Yeah, like, ultimately, it was between Dylan and Georgie. Dylan got a fucking handshake this week. And he's been getting handshakes all the day. Even Paul was just like, I'm getting tired of shaking your hand. It smells like farts. Are you giving me a stink palm?
Right. I'm pretty sure that is.
I had a fucking NCO. Oh, what was his name? It was Mendez or something like that. He and some other NCO would stink palm people on the regular. He saw fucking mall rats and it was like on. So if you don't know what that is, you stick your finger, or you got like a sweaty ass, or even if you don't, you stick a finger in your butthole or something. So you got a nasty fucking palm. You do that so it's in your hand. You shake someone's hand and you just you leave the handshake wiping away, and they got shit palm on their hand. That was their thing. Never shook that man's hand in my life.
Good.
And he presented it. First of all, you don't really shake hands in the military anyway, but he presented it, and I was just like, no, Sergeant, I'm good. I've heard tale. I yelled at his ass too, and he got so pissed. He was so much bigger than me. He was like twice my size. I'm not a big person, but he was like a big dude. And like, I just having a bad fucking day. My CO was yelling at me in our meeting, and I was like yelled back at them. And so his office was right next to the CO's office, the commanding officer, CO office. And he was like, "What's wrong with you, Campbell? What's going on?" And I just fucking lost it. I'm like, I'm a goddamn I'm a fucking human being. I'm not someone's fucking bitch. I'm just like yelling at him. You don't do that in the military. especially when you're talking about the dude who is right next door, literally listening to you the whole time. I was so mad, but he was just like, I understand. Go back to your office, calm down. And so I left. Then I went home, and I think it was Menendez or something. This was like 20 years ago. He came into my soldiers who were still sort of fucking around in the office when I left. And he's like, I almost knocked his ass out. He was fucking screaming at me like he could take me, and I couldn't handle it. And I almost fucking knocked him out. If it wasn't for the CO right next door that he was bitching about, I would have fucking knocked his ass out. So. But he didn't stink palm me, so fuck him.
I mean, that's good. You won, clearly, in that exchange.
I don't know why I brought that up. Anyway, the winners. So it's between Dylan and Georgie. I was a little surprised.
Me too. I was very surprised that Georgie won. And I think it's just because Dylan was so far below her on the technical. That's the only thing I can think. Like, especially because thinking about it, like his signature looked nicer, but it was a shocker when she won.
I think it was the mint chocolate chip cake. If he did a couple different flavors, I think he probably would have won. But he just like doubled down, tripled down on the mint chocolate, and it's too much of a good thing. Like, you just gotta fucking simmer down. So in any case, Georgie, I'm sorry, got Star Baker, and Ilian got sent the fuck home. Should have been a while ago, but she was all gums, so I guess that helps you stay. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, that's always the first thing I notice with people's teeth is their gum to teeth ratio.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I started big teeth, but hers is like all gums. I'm watching Survivor. There's a Survivor contestant girl who's just like all teeth. It's like a horror movie. It's just like, Gah! Like
Gary Busey?
More than Gary Busey. It's like from here down is just teeth. And you're just like, fuck me. How? Can you imagine that blowjob? God damn. Or if she's fucking gay, like, can you imagine eating that pussy like with those teeth? Fuck.
It would be like fucking a cheese shredder, I would imagine.
That's 100%. Right. On the cheese shredder note, what was your favorite bake of this episode?
Definitely Georgie's showstopper. Like, I honest, like, I'm a fat ass. I haven't stopped thinking about it. Like, it just really made me want to make a cake like that. It's like, fuck, it's been so long since I've had one, and that's just so good. Especially use just a little bit of Kirsch, like on the sponge and stuff. Kirsch is cherry liquor.
Oh shit!
I never knew about it until this show, actually.
Shit!
Yeah, it is.
That sounds
dope.
good.
But yeah, adding that on top of the sponge in between oh fuck, I really want to make one.
Least favorite bake. I'm with you on that one, by the way.
Fucking. I mean, I guess because it sounds gross and I don't really remember it. Probably Christian's showstopper.
Yeah,
it's just such a weird flavor profile.
I do feel like there's a way that you could add avocado to a cake to make it really good. I just don't know how to do it because the creaminess of it could really do something.
The thing is, it's creamy and it's fatty, so it's like you could, potentially substitute it with, or substitute like butter with it, possibly even eggs with it. Like, there's different things that you could do.
Cheese, you add a little sugar with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would, it would be it would almost like balance out the sweetness of like making a whipped cream sugar or cream cheese frosting.
God, it might be really fucking good.
Yeah, I kind of want to try that now.
I feel like we should do like a little experiment or something.
Yeah,
just to see if we could do it. All right. That was my least favorite. It looked weird, it sounded weird, and it fucking tasted weird according to the judges. So,
I could see that.
He needs to, he's too good, and I don't like him. So I want him gone. But Jill's going to be the next one to go. I just fucking know it next week.
Yeah, I think
or
so too.
Tonight. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know. Anyway, anything else?
No, man. I think we got that.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Always remember the evil spelled backwards is live. If you have a favorite bake from this episode, let us know in the comments below. And if you like Dylan's dick, let us know in the comments below as well. Chris, you already said it. You can't double down.
Yep.
Anyway, evil spelled backwards is live, so get out there and be evil.
And look at Dylan's dick.
Clearly, that's the theme.
Hey, Chris, we do bake-offs all the fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look closer.
A chat member of your choice. Yeah, fuck, if you were closer, you just come. Shit.
Literally and figuratively.
That's why I didn't elaborate.